Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd One Out with your host Mark. This is a new sort of mini podcast within a podcast I'll decide to start doing, where I'll be just reviewing one film on my own. The review will take the form of, I'll talk about what's good in it, I'll talk about what's bad in it, I'll talk about what's odd in it. And my reason for doing this is my usual co-host Sam, I feel that recently when I've been watching a lot more films, and when we come to talk about what we've been watching this week, it ends up with me being a long section of me just describing various films, while Sam says kind of quiet because he hasn't seen them. I think it'd be more interesting to just split them out into their own little distinct smaller podcasts. For the listener, you get to choose what you want to listen to and what you don't. It's a lot easier to say, oh well, yeah, that sounds right or not. Plus, it'll be a much shorter section in our comfy chair of our main podcast, which is kind of one-sided in a minute anyway when I start talking about films, and I thought it'd be more interesting to do it this way. Anyway, the first one of this series is the movie Sunshine from 2007. Here's a trailer and then we'll get into it.
Our sun is dying. Mankind faces extinction. 16 months ago, I, Robert Capa, and a crew of 7 left Earth frozen in a solar winter. Our mission: reignite the sun before it's too late. Welcome to Icarus 2. So if you wake up one morning and it's a particularly beautiful day, you'll know we made it.
Okay, Sunshine from 2007 stars Cillian Murphy, Michelle Yeoh and various other people, Mark Strong, for example. This was a terrific film, directed by Danny Boyle. It was deliberately, and I wikid this and checked, because I could see the influences in the film, but I checked it, and Danny Boyle, I think, confirms it was influenced somewhat by 2001, the original version of Solaris, Silent Running, a lot of 70s sci-fi like Silent Running and Dark Star. I can also see influences from Alien, maybe Red Dwarf pushing it a bit, and various possibly other ones. I kind of detect a bit of the Solaris remake, which starred George Clooney in it as well. It had that kind of feel. It's a British film, or it seems to be mostly British in terms of characters and crew, set on a ship called the Icarus 2, who's got a mission to restart the sun, in effect. If you know the shonky sci-fi trappings of it, it's a rather fine and beautiful looking film. The good things about it is it looked lovely. The script really worked. There was a real tension to it. The first half in particular, you really felt a sense of, little mistakes get amplified into big mistakes. What the hell's going on? These guys just keep doing slightly wrong things and things going wrong. And it's got that kind of tension of bored people in space just not paying enough attention, and that leading to catastrophic outcomes. I will say now there'll be spoilers in this. If you haven't seen this film, I urge you to see it before you listen on. However, in the second half, the film takes a very strange left turn in that they decide, and this is where all the problems start building up, that there's a chance the first ship, there's someone still alive on it because they receive a signal, so they need to go investigate. Doing this precipitates all their problems. However, they do take the time to try and explain why they're doing this. It seems like a silly idea, but I use quite reasonable logic to sort of say, well, this gives us 2 chances to return the sun. There's only, if one goes wrong, a second chance is worth having because, humanity's on the line. The sun's dying is the idea, so there's an ice age setting on Earth. So the good things about it, look and feel, the acting's really good. It's Danny Boyle, it looks great, and it does indeed evoke 2001 and the original Solaris and so on really nicely. This film, to me, is pretty much everything Prometheus wasn't. Prometheus was nice, sort of eye candy, but not much more. This is nice eye candy, and it's got some thinking in it. However, there is a problem with the second half where they sort of have to invoke, I don't know, the haunted house stroke slasher sort of horror trope to continue the tension, which doesn't quite work for me. They didn't really need to do that. They were going perfectly well. It's beautifully sort of played in that little mistakes are causing problems. That could have carried on. However, here they've got some guy from the other ship who's burnt up from the sun's rays, a gone mad, talking about God, and it doesn't quite work. That can work if it's a very, I don't know, slightly more avant-garde piece, I guess, because it's more meaningful, but in here it just seems a bit of a contrivance to drive the story, and it doesn't work for me. Having said that, I do really like this film, so that to me is the bad bit. The odd bit is that trope as well. It seems like an odd choice to have made from such I mean, this is written by, what was it, Alex Garland. He was not a bad writer, and you'd think he'd come up with something a bit more. It doesn't. It's a bit like watching 2001 and the last act, aliens come out and start fighting Earth or something. It's got that feel to it. It's like, you didn't need to do that, just carry on as it was. This could have been a classic kind of thing. Right, when I first saw this film, I really enjoyed it. I gave it a fairly high rating. I'm tending these days to, as I watch films, rate them. So if you catch my Twitter out, if you go to our website, www.thegoodthebadandtheugly, you'll find links to Facebook and Twitter. And I post on Twitter and Facebook films I watch and a score out of 100 once I've watched them, with a very brief sort of overview. I first scored this as 78 out of 100, but it has played on my mind. It has stuck with me. The imagery has really stuck with me. I really enjoyed it, and I've had to revise that score upwards to 87 out of 100. It's really impressive. And the more you think about it, the better it seems. It's got that kind of thing. It did look beautiful in Blu-ray as well. Funny year, 2007. It seems to be like a really great year for movies. I've seen 4. This is the 4th film I've seen for 2007. I thought was really good in the last month. So I could definitely recommend this one to watch. It's got its flaws. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. Bye.